A much-anticipated summer vacation turns into a real-life horror movie when a shark made its way toward Lulu Gribben, a 15-year-old teenager. The events that followed would profoundly alter her life forever. Hit like and subscribe. This is Fierce. Celebrating the start of new summer adventures, Anne Blair Gribben decided to take her twin daughters on a mother-daughter trip, alongside a few of their friends and their moms. She thought it would be a great way to enjoy the warm weather, far away from their Alabama town, Mountain Brook. Excitement was floating around the girls, as this was their first ever beach trip. June 7th started like any other day. The crystal clear water and white sand of Seacrest Beach, Florida, would later become the scene of a terrible accident. The girls were eager to soak up the sun and enjoy the ocean, so they woke up early in the morning and made their way to the beach at around 10:30 a.m. They enjoyed the carefree summertime vibe by playing volleyball, swimming, and tanning. Later in the day, the group made the decision to investigate the first and second sandbars, which are well known for their deeper waters and abundant marine life. They borrowed a boogie board and a hot pink sparkle float to navigate the waters, finding sand dollars and marveling at the wildlife. However, as soon as they got to the second sandbar, the girls realized that something was off. The decision was clear. They needed to swim down once to touch the bottom and make sure everything was okay. After a few more minutes, the girls quickly paddled back to the shore, fear settling in. After some more tanning, Lulu's sister Ellie came with an idea for a memorable photo. Each of the girls must hold in her hand a sand dollar. The only problem was that Ellie didn't have one. So she begged everyone to get into the water one more time and help her find a sand dollar among the sandbars. While swimming through the tranquil waves of Seacrest Beach, the girls befriended another group who helped them find more sand dollars. Fun and adventure led to them losing count of the hours spent in the water. So after the group of friends they met there left, they decided to get out of the water as well. But as they swam calmly toward the shore, a predator was lurking in the waist-high water, ready to attack. A piercing shark echoed through the water. One of the girls, Adele, saw the shark's fin circling the group, getting closer and closer to its potential prey. Panicked, she screamed for help, alerting everyone in the water and on the beach of the shark's presence. Lulu's twin Ellie recalls that in that moment, she simply knew she had to swim. She didn't look back to see if her friends and sister were right behind her. As Ellie reached the shore and turned around to check on the other girls, her eyes filled with tears and panic. In front of her, the ocean waves were stained red with blood. Among them was Lulu, who was struggling to save herself. A bull shark, known for its aggressive nature, had its jaws tightly locked around Lulu. The sight was nothing short of a nightmare. The 15-year-old's screams alerted other beachgoers who fled the scene, scared for their lives. Lulu was now alone in the water with the bull shark, who didn't seem to want to let go of her. Despite her attempts to kick the beast off of her, pain flooded her entire body, paralyzing it. The shark clamped its jaws around Lulu's left hand and claimed it as its prize, then moved on to her right leg. Lulu's lungs were filling with water every time the shark tried to get her underwater, dragging her with so much power that she felt it was impossible to free herself. With one last ferocious bite, the bull shark mauled Lulu's right leg, leaving her with her thigh bone visible and barely any muscle left. Under the terrified eyes of her twin sister Ellie, the scene felt surreal, straight out of a horror movie. All she could do was watch as her sister was dragged around the bloody waves, feeling helpless. She screamed for help, saying over and over again, "That's my sister," until someone finally came to their aid. A desperate dash to save Lulu's life soon followed the initial shock of the attack. As soon as the shark left the area, beachgoers, including 2 doctors on vacation, moved to help the injured teenager. A couple of men jumped into the bloody water to get Lulu ashore. Despite her shock, Ellie was determined to help and dove into the water, holding Lulu's head and hand to prevent the waves from hitting her injured body. Anne Gribben, Lulu's mother, showed up on the scene not long after. A simple "Mom, it's Lulu" is all Ellie had to say to the mother of two before tears streamed down her face and she let out a piercing scream. The sight of her daughter lying motionless on the beach, pale and covered in blood, was her worst nightmare. The scene was terrifying. Volunteers and doctors were working tirelessly to stabilize Lulu, as Anne's screams of horror echoed across the beach. Lulu was quickly airlifted to Sacred Heart Hospital in Pensacola, approximately an hour and 20 minutes away. Throughout the trip, Anne and Ellie held on to one another and fervently prayed that Lulu would survive. The extent of Lulu's injuries was revealed when they arrived at the hospital. In order to avoid further complications, doctors had to amputate her right leg just above the knee. She had also lost her left hand. During the attack, Lulu also lost 2/3 of her blood supply, which put her in critical condition. Even though Lulu had severe injuries, she managed to survive and continues to improve every day. Her vitals improved enough the next day that the breathing tube was taken out, and she started breathing on her own. Her first words to her family were, "I made it." Aspiring to be a doctor, Lulu demanded to watch as the doctors took out her central line a few days later. Several surgeries were required to seal the amputations and treat Lulu's wounds before she could start her recovery. She maintained the same spirit through it all. Lulu is still making jokes, smiling through the pain, and trying to find the good in what has happened to her. As for the scene of the attack, the normally bustling beach was eerily quiet in the days that followed the incident. Ellie and one of her friends that joined the girls in the beach trip, Lila, returned to the beach one night to reflect on the traumatic events, only to find it deserted. While shark attacks are rare, Panama City Beach police reported sightings of several bull sharks near the sandbar where the first attack occurred. Bay County Sheriff Tommy Ford suggested that the presence of bait fish near the shore might have contributed to the attack, as sharks often follow schools of fish. Most shark bites on humans are believed to be cases of mistaken identity or curiosity. Sharks might mistake swimmers for prey or be startled by their presence. In Lulu's case, the precise cause of the attack remains unknown, but it highlights the importance of staying alert when entering shark territory. Lulu's story is one of survival, bravery, and hope. Despite the physical and emotional scars, she remains determined to pursue her dreams and live life to the fullest. Her attack will continue to haunt Seacrest Beach for some time, and it will surely put things into perspective for her family and friends. Still, it's ironic how a first-time beach trip turned into a living nightmare. But everyone's minds are filled with the same thought. You can never be too prepared to come face to face with one of the deadliest predators ever.